The drop shot. In my opinion, I have mastered the drop shot, and that makes me qualified to speak on the drop shot. So, let's talk about it. The first couple things about the drop shot that you need to know, because there's a lot of people that say things that aren't true about it. And one of the first things is that you should only hit the drop shot from certain positions on the court, i.e., somewhere inside the court, on a ball that comes to you that's dropped shorter. And these are false. It's not true. You can hit a drop shot from anywhere on the court, and I mean anywhere. 20 feet behind the baseline, go for it. Hit the drop shot. I don't know if I'd recommend that, but if you wanted to, go for it. If you want to hit the drop shot on the serve, go for it. The return, go for it. There's no rules when it comes to the drop shot. And the other thing I wanted to mention about the drop shot is a lot of people teach this fake drop shot where you come up with your racket, you prepare as if you're going to hit a forehand, or you might prepare as if you're going to hit a backhand, and then at the last second quickly change to the drop shot preparation and play your drop shot, or just quickly change to a drop shot to playing a drop shot. And while this might look fancy and it might seem like it's appropriate, in my opinion, it's one of the worst things you can do, because when you hit the drop shot, you want to use the target first, hitting the target as your main tactic for getting what you want out of the drop shot. You don't need to fake it. You don't need, and the thing is, when you fake the drop shot, you're just making it more difficult that you're gonna actually execute it, because the drop shot, according to most people, is already a difficult shot to execute. So why make it more difficult than it is? And a lot of people don't understand this because they don't understand where you're supposed to hit the drop shot. And I'm going to put my tennis map up here on the screen in the corner, and there is in the targets labeled number 1 up near the net. Those are the basic targets that you're going to use to hit a drop shot. Now, of course, you can hit the drop shot anywhere you want, as I said before, but according to this video, according to an ideal drop shot, this is the target, specifically the two corners. So let's take the example of, let's say one player is your opponent is in the ad court, and they hit a backhand cross court to you, and you play you're in the ad court, of course, and you play a backhand drop shot to number 1 on the left side of the court there, right directly down the line in front of you. If you hit that target, let's say you're on the baseline. If you hit that target, more likely than not, you will win the point. Your opponent might get to it. He's going to have a hard time hitting it over the net because it's so close to the net. And even if he does, you'll be able to follow it up and get up there and make the shot. And even if he does, you can just say, great shot. And I'm going to get into the reason why. When you hit this target, we're going to use backspin. So we're not going to get crazy with the backspin. We're just going to try to hit that target. You'll see if you do this and you hit it, it will have some backspin on the ball. And the ball typically will bounce straight up. But here's the thing. If you hit that target from that spot, the ball has to bounce straight up. It literally cannot. It can't, as you would think, like let's say a little bit deeper, you hit a drop shot and it doesn't have the greatest amount of spin on it. Let's say it's halfway through the service box, and it bounces maybe a couple times into the service line. If you hit the ball there, it doesn't have to bounce straight up. But if you hit this target, it literally the ball has to bounce straight up, and that's how the target is going to teach you. And that's the thing I would focus on. Nothing else matters. Like I said, if you hit that target with a little bit of backspin, you're going to hit a great drop shot. And you can't really say how much backspin you should put on the ball, because the situation is going to dictate that. and it's something that you have to intuitively play around with. And you'll see another mistake players will make is they'll try to hit too much backspin. I'll put up a video here on the screen. They might have put too much backspin on the ball. They also might stare at the ball. You'll see them. They'll go and they'll play their shot, and as the racket goes away from the ball, they'll stare at they'll do that Federer stare. And players do this with all their shots, which is another mistake. You do not have to stare at the ball. Once that racket leaves the ball, even by a millimeter, that your stare at the ball has nothing to do with your shot, where it goes, how well it's hit, etc. So I encourage you to try this out for yourself. Use the target, go out there, have someone play some points with you, and just experiment with hitting that target. And you'll see that 9 times out of 10, you hit that target, you will win the point.